Okay, let's try that again. This time I'm not gonna try to do the live stream thing because, man, that was garbage. I think, apparently everything's garbage that I own. All right, better? Everything's stable? Excellent. Okay, well, we're gonna try this again. I put up a video at the beginning of the week, an update, and an announcement. Pretty big announcement, actually. And it's one that I'm got to do again because after some reflection and some feedback from Tan, one of the patrons, I realized I gotta amend what I'm doing. and how I word things is really what I'm looking at. So just to start off, the video I put up earlier this week, I think only Tan watched it, but maybe some of the others watched it. It was about the biggest project that I have ever decided to undertake, and it's going to take about 3 years at least to do. Upon further reflection, it may take longer, but the original goal is in 3 years to have it complete. Sorry, I'm at work. Using my lunch break to talk to the patrons. That's how much I care about you guys. I'm not sitting inside with everybody. I'm just just out here by myself with you. All right, roll up the window so at least you can deaden a little bit of the sound. So here's what we're gonna do. It's a $10 million Lego project. And while in my head it's really easy to come up with $10 million for some reason, at least for this project it seems like it, but in real life that's not going to be the case. This $10 million project is going to be a Venator class Republic cruiser in minifigure scale. That means this thing is going to be 100 feet long, 50 feet wide, and 25 feet tall. I was recently over at a Standard Plumbing Supply. I'm wearing this shirt today. Sorry if it's reversed for you guys. I don't know why it does that, but excuse me. Hopefully it fixes it at some point. Hopefully I can find the setting. I just haven't dedicated any time to it yet. I was over at Standard Plumbing Supply, and I happened to get up on a big ladder to get some boxes of fittings off the top of the shelf, some cases. And when I turned around, I looked at the warehouse, and I realized that the shelves only went about 3/4 of the way up to where the lights dangle. And when I suddenly stopped and looked at it, I realized that this project might fit inside this warehouse, but only barely. Upon further measurements, I actually talked to some of the employees there. Apparently, it's actually too big to fit inside their warehouse, which is crazy. Height-wise. Lengthwise and widthwise, it totally fit just fine. What's crazy is that the Venator's towers are ridiculously tall. Like, if you took the towers off of it, it would cut the height by 1/3. That's how big they are, which is actually good news because my original calculations, just rough estimates, was that it was going to take 54 semi-trucks to move this thing. Of course, that was based purely off volumetric measurements, based only on the width, height, and length, not accounting for how much of that is empty space. And since the actual body of the ship is only about 1/3, that means that it's going to be much easier to transport than I thought. Hopefully we'll be able to split it up into only about 10 semi-trucks. Wouldn't that be ridiculous? Okay, so I'm actually going to do this. And I've already started designing. I've downloaded a bunch of different 3D models, and I'm working on putting together some rough blueprints so that I know what the angles are supposed to be, and then I can also get the heights and widths, get the measurements basically. So taking these 3D models, putting them in a blueprint that's a 1/4 inch per foot scale, and then be able to actually take out a tape measure and measure exactly how big each of these things are, which is great because then I can transfer the inch measurements or the feet measurements, whatever it ends up being, down to stud measurements, transfer the scale, and go from there. Yeah. So this is pretty friggin' ridiculous, guys, but I'm excited. It should be awesome. I hope so. So why is it going to cost $10 million? Well, actually, that's a good question. It would be a little bit less than that. I anticipate the material, just the Lego that we need to buy for this, the Lego pieces, I anticipate it to be around $5 million as far as the Lego set. So far, the biggest Lego set in the world was the X-Wing that Lego made and displayed, and it was 5 million pieces. So if you times that by 10 cents per piece, you're looking at about $500,000 for that X-Wing. This thing is going to be bigger than that by a power of 10. I anticipate this thing to be around 50 million pieces when all is said and done, if not more. It probably will be more. And then on top of that, then we have the engineering framework and everything. And I actually have included a way to be able to pay people for their time, because I know that I'm going to have to take some time off of work to do this for sure, especially at the end when we're about to reveal it. But I would love to be able to make enough to let me take basically a sabbatical from my job. So a couple of years would be good at least. And then also needing to be able to pay for other people. So it's basically some of the money is going to go into some funds and investments in order to take care of the set, take care of the build once it's complete, to be able to transport the build to different conventions and things like that, and then being able to pay people to work on it or to maintain it. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And in theory, the leftover money from the build would be able to, just off of the interest from the investments, be able to perpetually upkeep the build. So at least that's the hope, right? So why am I suddenly inspired to do this? Well, this has actually been about a year in the making. I thought about this a year ago in May. I looked back in my journal and actually could see it. And that's where I originally did my calculations, the 100 by 50 by 25. And honestly, it's a little different. It's like 97 feet by 48 feet by 24 feet or 23 feet. But I just kind of rounded up because those measurements are easier to go 100 by 50 by 25. The actual measurements, we'll get it perfect in the end. But I thought about this and I could picture it in my mind in front of my house. I actually took a piece of pipe that was 20 feet long and laid it out end over end 5 times to get the 100 feet so that I could see how long this sucker would be. And then 50 feet wide. I was out in the middle of the street at night. I'm sure people thought I was crazy, but I am crazy, especially talking about this. So the other question is, why a Venator? Honestly, it might have to not be a Venator. But there are a couple of reasons. Venators are one of the smaller Star Destroyers. 3 years from now is the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, where we first saw a Venator on screen. So that's exciting and something to keep in mind. And yeah, so smaller. So it's as far as scale, it's going to be the easiest one to build because it is one of the small. I suppose I could go with the Acclamator class, which we saw at the end of Attack of the Clones, but the Venator is more iconic, and plus we have Clone Wars and the Bad Batch soon that will be coming out and getting people excited. So it's possible I might be able to ride some of that hype and be like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a Venator and put it out in the world, minifigure scale. Now this, you are actually going to be able to walk into the back and walk through the middle, where you'll be able to see the hangar that'll be open. So there'll be a big open chasm in the middle, kind of like if you just took a giant cube out of the bottom of it. And actually, the crazy part is that the Venator already has that. It already has a channel down the middle of the back, and the fin that comes off of the back of it actually goes super thin. And there's a couple little engines that will obviously not be able to be there for the walkway. But you'll be able to go in the back and walk through it and be able to see displays from the different shows. I was going to work with a bunch of other YouTubers I've got an army guy in Hong Kong who's got like 1,500 501st troopers, including 332nd, which are the Ahsoka troopers. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see that come up. But yeah, so that's my crazy idea. This week has been pretty good. I have gotten the instructions done. It's only Thursday. I finished them last night, Wednesday night. They're ready to go up on Rubrikable, which is pretty awesome for the Rockets Warbird. It's one that's been requested over and over and over and over and over throughout my YouTube career. At least every other month I get somebody asking for instructions on how to build it. Well, wish granted. You're welcome, Galaxy. And they're free. They'll be free. So even more you're welcomes. And then I've also started work on the Final Order transport. The Final Order battle transport. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the largest TIE fighter wings I've ever made, which is pretty exciting, actually. Still tweaking the actual size of it, but I think it'll be good. I think it'll be exciting. It'll be able to carry the walkers into battle and have troops on board, speeder bikes. I even want some hatches on the top so the rocket troops can jump out of the top, which will be fun too. So anyway, that is what I'm doing. That is what's going on this week, everybody. I should be able to do the video tonight, going over the Amelia Earhart set. So stay tuned for that. And then after that, we will do a live stream, possibly Friday night, for the Genius levels and above, which at this point is still just Shadow Dancer. Shout out. you guys are awesome. All three of you guys are amazing. My three awesome patrons. Okay, well, my lunch break is almost half over and I haven't even eaten my sandwich or anything yet. So have a great day. Don't spread this news about the Venator too wide yet. I'm still in the design phase, so it's extremely early, but I wanted you guys to have the first bit on it, first knowledge. And while I will be asking everybody who's subscribed to donate some money, don't even think about it. You guys need to, because you don't. You guys are amazing, and I'm already saving up the money from here, going towards future contests and stuff. But if I can get the Venator project going, I think that's going to be the key right there. I will have to sneak around the copyrights and stuff, but we'll get there. Anyway, hope you guys are having a good one. Hopefully you guys are having a great week. It's warmed up quite a bit here in Utah. It's no longer freezing at night, so it's in the upper 30s now each night. So that's good. Don't like to be super cold when I'm working, but still chilly with the wind. So anyway, I'm rambling on again. You guys have a great day, and we will see you again soon, but not in TJ's Lego room today. TJ's job today. And we'll see you hopefully back in TJ's Lego room later tonight. Bye. Play well.